Subway restaurants turn their back on members of the Second Amendment community. All that and a little bit more on the next episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the best source for Second Amendment news here on the YouTube and anywhere else for that matter, if you ask me. Before we jump into what Subway just did, let's remind everybody that Joe Biden, who is the choice of the Democrats to run for president, he already, some time ago in October, released his plan for gun control, and I detailed that in a video that I did back then, and I want to remind people about it because a lot of people are emailing me and sending me messages and DMs and asking me about, is this true about Biden? Is this, does he want to do that, this and that? Watch that video. It's going to be right there. It's well worth the watch. Seriously. Pause this and open that in another tab. Watch that video because it tells you exactly what this old coot plans on doing if he becomes the king of the world. Okay? So jump on that. Now let's get into Subway. If you remember a few months ago when North Carolina opened up phase 1, day 1, coming out of the pandemic house arrest that they forced everybody under. And it is house arrest because quarantine is when you set sick people aside from everybody to keep everybody else safe. So a national house arrest is what it really was. And they got immediate attention from some anti-gun groups because I think it was 10 or 12 guys who were open carrying came through Subway to get lunch. Paid their way. Nobody robbed the place. They didn't cause any problems. They were legally carrying their firearms openly. But that's, gotta scare those liberals, man. Those sheeple, they're worried. Not worried about all the criminals, doing all the criminal stuff, burning stuff down and all that. But those law-abiding folks who don't do anything wrong, we have to stop that. So a couple of prominent groups, anti-gun groups, reached out to Subway. Those groups that reached out to them demanding that they infringe on everybody else's rights. It's the Newtown Action Alliance. You might have heard of them before. If not, they're in Connecticut. Right after the Newtown shooting, they became a thing. And one of their contributing board members is the one, the only, the cuckoo Alyssa Milano. Man, I used to have such a crush on her on Who's the Boss days. But in addition to the Newtown Action Alliance, Guns Down America is behind this as well. And what they said is, we're going to pressure you to do this because other stores like Walmart and Kroger and Target, they all folded to our pressure. So we're going to do the same to you. And they started a petition. And, just like the anti-gunners do, they fill minds of people who are just too busy to think or research for themselves, and they filled it with lies. I'm going to actually reference, I have a picture that I had saved from this work of brilliance here. They say things in here that Subway is blatantly endangering the lives of its employees and customers by allowing these deadly weapons in their restaurant, and there are many photos to prove it. And they're referring to the North Carolina restaurant where the photos came out of, where people just wanted to eat lunch. Then they go into the statistics, because statistics, which can very easily be manipulated to what you want them to lean towards, they said this. Additionally, and unfortunately, Subway is no stranger to gun violence. According to analysis of data from the Gun Violence Archive, yeah, they're not slanted either, Subway has experienced at least 65 incidents of gun violence in or near its restaurants nationwide since 2014, resulting in 21 deaths and 28 injuries. Well, if anybody's aware of how they do vicinity or proximity statistics, you could be a tenth of a mile, up to a quarter of a mile away, and depending on some crimes. But when they do crime mapping, it's a circle around. It's not in the store, and that's because some Subways are in high crime areas, right? So crime will happen, and just because Subway is there doesn't mean people are getting mowed down in the Subway. Just like if that Subway was next to a Neiman Marcus, doesn't mean that people are getting mowed down there either. It's just working stats for the narrative, and that's what they're doing. And people were like, yes, we must follow. Again, and they even reference some of the other agencies, the other businesses that they have pressured into deviating from the Constitution and following the leftist Marxist agenda instead of saying, no, you know what, these are Americans, this is America, and they have a right. But they, it takes somebody with stones to do that. Like, I wish I owned my own corporation that big. But they said many American businesses, including Walmart, Target, Starbucks, Kroger, CVS, Walgreens, Wegmans, and others, have established clear policies to ask individuals to leave their guns at home. Nah, I mean, if you're concealed correctly, nobody knows you're carrying anyway. But anyway, they're saying that this was a success, this petition, because over 43,000 Americans signed the petition. Quick math, that's less than 0.01% of the American population. So if you have less than 1% of the population signing with you, that is far, far from a success. But that is the anti-gun game. They're going to do everything they can and spew everything they can to make them look fantastic. And the sheep will just go bah, because they love it. And then the pressure was put on at an elite level. Not that these bobos are elite, but two senators, both of the anti-gun senators from Connecticut, no doubt Alyssa Milano and her Newtown group got them to do this. But Senator Blumenthal and Senator Murphy both penned a letter to the CEO of Subway saying, you can't allow this freedom. You just can't do that. And I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that this was part of the pressure that they caved to. But Subway has released this just a day and a half ago as their new policy. As you can see here on the screen regarding open carry of firearms, it says, for the consideration and comfort of restaurant employees and guests, Subway respectfully requests that guests other than authorized law enforcement refrain from open displaying firearms inside restaurants, even in states where open carry is permitted. And you have this thing called the Second Amendment and freedom and inalienable rights given to us by the Creator. And you got the Bill of Rights and the Constitution behind you. That means more than the $5 footlong. So maybe Subway feels the pressure that Dick's did by turning their back on the gun community as well. But that is the new policy. What are you guys having for lunch today? Leave some comments down below of what you think of the policy and the pressure that was just lathered on Subway restaurants. And what are some other good pro-American sub sandwich chains? Let's start sending our business to them. All right, guys and gals, until we see each other again, hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Thank you all for the happy birthday comments to the wifey yesterday. Yes, I do know that it is July. I have screwed that up twice already. I am just so overworked and not sleeping lately because the humidity is just crazy and the back is flaring up. But I know it's July. Thank you for everybody who corrects me. And I promise you, I'm still with it. All right, guys, be safe. Stay vigilant. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, watch that Joe Biden video, because that is what is staring us in the face in November if we don't get off our tuchus and go out and vote. Be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care.